Howdy, howdy. Welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Initiative Design. This is actually going to be a different video than I normally do. Normally I do the vlog style. However, when looking at my printers, I realized I've hit some major thresholds on the printing time, so I figured it'd be a great opportunity just to give a unfiltered opinion of the 3 Bambu printers that I have. So far, I've been using the 3 printers for several months. The Bambu P1S I have had since October. That was before I even opened up my print farm. The Bambu A1 Mini I got in February. Yeah, February sounds about right. After I had made some good sales at one of my events. And the final one that I've gotten for now is the A1 with the AMS Lite system attached to it. That one I have had since either March or April. Overall, I have a combined of about 5,000 print hours between them. So I'm going to go ahead and break down each printer that I've done, detailing the pros, the cons, any issues that I've run into them, and just just give you guys my honest feedback. So we'll start with the one I've had the longest, the Bambu P1S. The first printer I had prior to Bambu was a Creality Ender 3. It was an old model that I had found at a consignment store for $50. It taught me about repairing things and kind of the nuance of 3D printing. And from there, I was wanted to jump full on into the hobby and upgrade to an actual good printer. I had heard that the Bambu was really good, and I found at my local micro center that they had an open box model to where I could get the P1S and AMS system, both for, I think it was about $500. Between some money I had planned and some money someone had given me, it was an amazing opportunity that I could not pass up on. And since then, I have not regretted it. Overall, this system I have run, let's see if I can get it on there, 2,938 hours. So I'm just going to round and pretty much say 3,000 hours so around 3,000 hours that I've run on this. And so far, I've been very satisfied with everything. I've had a few small clogs that I've had to deal with. Yeah, so as far as issues that I've had with it, I had a few nozzle clogs and such, which I think that was related to some harsh material that I was running. I've since upgraded my nozzle from the base one that had come with it, and ever since then I've been having no issues. Other than that, I've had a few small filament clogs that have gone underneath and gotten caught underneath it in the PTFE tubes, and that's just been from filament that has broken off in the middle of a print. Like if there was a little bit and then it just broke, so it's no longer able to feed. So I've had to disassemble this a couple of times, but that's like maybe twice in the 8 months that I've had it. Thinking of anything else. Oh, and the other one, which I've gotten a lot better at, is there have been some times where my this has gotten clogged, which has resulted in it kind of building up. I had one time where I had a blob of filament that had gotten stuck on there because this had gotten clogged up, so it built up. Yeah, so I have replaced the nozzle. Everything's been fine ever since. I do maintenance probably about once a month now that I'm really ramping up my production. But before that, I was doing about every 2 months. I have replaced the standard textured plate that it came with a Bambu Lab Super Track plate, and that has been very good. So yeah, this by far is my best performing system that I have. The least amount, well, not the least amount of issues, but overall, if I need a print to perform the best, this is the one that runs the best. And some people will say that, you know, I should put a riser on here because it gets too warm, which can affect the prints. I haven't run into that. Not dissing anyone who does it, but I haven't run into that need, so I have yet to have done that. So yeah, I'll give my pros and cons with just the system. I'm not talking about the AMS yet, although I did briefly talk about it, but just with the P1S system. The pros, it just prints. Things are great. I very rarely have any kind of adhesion issues, especially ever since I swapped to this plate right here. Homing issues I never really have. So the pros are it just works. It's a great system. Yeah, I know I sound like a broken record, but that's why I said it was going to be just a raw, unfiltered review. Yeah, so it really just works. I just don't have any issues. This is also the system that I even run for my Hue forges, because I've noticed on the bed slingers, like this one right here, there always seems to be something with the Hue forges, and I know people get them to work, but they work perfectly every single time on the P1S. If the price wasn't so high, I'd probably only have P1Ss, because that's just how much I like the P1S system. One complaint that I do have for it, a con, is the filament poop. I don't know why, and maybe there's a setting that can be changed for it, but the filament poop that gets purged out for the Bambu P1S just seems to be much larger, not as compacted or compressed. Whereas, let me grab a small piece from my A1, it's just, you know, small, which doesn't seem like much, but when it's all bigger like those ones, they just get caught up in my poop chute that I have right here, which I probably need to swap out my poop chute, because that is another problem that I've had. I don't really care that the poop chute is in the back. It's nice because it's out of the way. However, on the side right here, I can easily just, you know, see it much easier versus this one. I mean, I guess if I didn't have it where it is, I could get a much bigger bucket, so that would make it not as big a problem. I don't know. I personally prefer it coming out the side like it does for the A1s and the A1 Mini. Other cons, honestly, I really can't think of any other cons, at least for the P1S. Okay, so now on to the AMS. Okay, the AMS that we have for this designed to go with the P1S. I like it, personally. I love that it has opportunities for me to put desiccant, which I've printed these to be able to hold my desiccant to have it dry better. I know the new AMS 2 has a built-in dryer, at least I believe that's what I had heard. It's much easier to be able to swap out filament, to be able to put it in and out. I have had some tubes that I've gotten clogged in the past, at least far more than on the AMS Lite. So the overall, I'd say the pro is that it's very easy to swap out your filament. It also automatically dries your filament for you while it's in there, assuming you make sure that the moisture is better, which that's another plus, is you actually get a moisture indicator in the Bambu app that kind of lets you know what your moisture levels are for it. The cons are, well, sometimes, especially if I use cardboard spools, it will either bend or will have issues, and next thing you know, it'll be pulling the filament, and it'll just get caught, and it'll kind of pop up, or it will rewind, and next thing you know, the filament will end up like all over here. This has been with really, I mean, I've had it with other spools as well, but especially with the cardboard filaments. That's why you'll see that if I ever get the cardboard filaments, I'll just use it on the AMS Lite, because I don't run into that issue. Another con is I've definitely had several times where the filament has gotten caught in the PTFE tubes inside the underside of the AMS. when that occurs, I have to pull all the filament out, unscrew it, pull it up, make sure I'm careful, and take care of what's happening, whether that's replacing the tube or anything of that nature. A pro that I really like for it is it works for you to be able to do it here if you have two filaments of the same color. You can set it to auto runoff. However, it's just much easier here for me. I've had a few issues where it hasn't auto swapped. I don't know if that's a setting that I've done, but I've just noticed that it just works better with the AMS. So that's overall my review for the P1S and the AMS system. I'm sure there's a lot more that I could discuss. There's a lot more that I've missed. But like I said, it's just going to be a raw review and give my overall thoughts for the 3,000 hours. As far as parts breaking, other than the nozzle, that's really it. Okay, going to my next printer that I got was the A1 Mini. This one we're running at, I'm right up against a wall, so forgive my camera, running at 1,132 hours. This one does not have an AMS system connected to it. The only upgrade that I have done and the only thing I've really swapped out for this one is the plate. I went from the textured plate to a BQ cool plate, and with that BQ cool plate, I have yet to have had to use any kind of glue or adhesive. It's really good. It's not as good, in my opinion, as the SuperTrack cool plate that Bambu has, but it's still pretty good. Overall, I have had a few staining that I've had from some filaments, but it hasn't impacted any of the adhesion or anything. As far as issues that I've had with the Bambu A1 Mini, I've had none. No clogs, no tube issues, no heating issues. Really, even the adhesion issues are very rare now that I've swapped that out. The only complaint that I have about the A1 Mini, and this is really, I guess, would be with the A1 too without the AMS system, is it is annoying to manually put that filament in to the filament loader that's right there. I've done it for a while, so I've kind of gotten much used, but I just have to stand here and just wait. Whereas the AMS systems, I can just put it in and it automatically does everything. The other complaint that I have is definitely the obvious build volume size. I didn't think it would be that big of an issue. However, it really is. I'm able to kind of get some stuff. I'm able to get a good bit printed on it, but there are a lot of larger items that I print that I sell or for personal that I end up just putting it between these two printers because this one just can't support it. Now I've gotten creative with spinning it certain ways or shrinking things slightly to be able to get it to fit so I can do what I can, but that doesn't work. So I actually use this printer a lot less than any of the other two printers because I really only use it for single color and for only the smaller stuff. I still try to have things running it on a regular basis, whether that's just printing some single color multicolored ones, just that way it's more variety for the shops, or if I've got a multicolored print that's got the kind of where you print everything individually and then assemble it like I have for the Yetis that I sell. But it's still great. I'm still very satisfied with it. I probably won't get another one. If I decide to get another printer, I'm probably going to go with either the P1S, if finances can afford it, or the A1. So the pros for it is definitely going to be the cost. Reliability is really good. Just easy to use. The cons is just the fact, and assembly for this one was substantially easier than any of the other ones. The con is just the build volume size. That's really it. And the loading of the filament. Onto the last printer that I have. So this is the A1 that I have. I currently, which is the most recent printer, it has 44 hours on here. And I do have the AMS Lite system that is attached to it. I like the AMS Lite. It's great. I like the printer. It's great. I have had the most issues out of any of my printers out of the A1 period. And maybe I just got a bad system. Maybe I got a bad batch or whatever. But I've had consistent issues with it. Either filament getting clogged, filament getting stuck. Most recently, I had the tool head, or the filament connector hub. That's what it's technically called. I was calling it a tool head. Was just popping off, and I ended up having to replace it. The good news is the parts are very cheap. I don't know as far as the cost of parts for the P1S because I haven't had to replace really anything. Someone did mention that perhaps my tubes are a little too short, so maybe that's what the problem is. So actually, after this video, I'm going to be replacing my tubes to kind of give some more room and give. I mean, I think it's fine because they can still go every which way even when it's spun all the way through, but yeah, I don't know. We're going to see. The things I like about the printer is the build volume. The price, of course, was a huge thing. The way the poop is handled, I know it sounds like a silly item, but I feel like I can walk away from a much larger print that has a lot more filament waste on this one than I can here. Now, like I said, that might just be because of the poop chute I'm using and the location that I have. Either way, it's still a problem for me. If I have to repair something for it, at the very least, it's really easy to get in here to swap nozzles, to handle. I guess that is one thing I will say about the P1S is swapping the nozzle was a little bit more of an annoyance because of the cables. This one, it just pulls right out. It's not a problem. But I don't like to have to swap the nozzles or have to, do as much stuff as I've had to for this printer. So the cons are I just am running into issues constantly with it not printing, and with it getting snagged, and with it failing. I've had prints of that were 18 to 20 hours in, and the last 5% it's failed, and I'm not able to get it repaired, or when I repair it there's a layer shift, so the whole product is wasted. And that's very frustrating. Will I end up buying another A1? I probably will, just from a cheapness standpoint. But ideally, if I can afford it, I'm going to go with the P1Ss. So yeah, that's my big qualms and my pros and my cons. Onto the AMS Lite. AMS Lite, it's bulky. I mean, I guess this AMS is still bulky, but the fact is this can stay on top of it, so it's less space. I didn't have the luxury of space here to kind of set it onto the side, and I didn't trust it to mount it on the top, so I actually ended up finding a file, and let's see if I can get it. I can't get a good one there. Ended up having a file that I could print to attach to mount the AMS Lite to the wall. Since then, it's been pretty good. It is a little bit of an annoyance because it is mounted. If I do have to do any repairs, I have to make sure I remove all the PTFE tubes and completely disconnect it so I can remove the printer off of it. So that's kind of an annoyance, but that's kind of an annoyance I created myself. As far as the AMS Lite system is concerned, the one thing I really love about it is cardboard. I can run as many cardboard spools, mini spools, the 250 kilogram spools, and I don't run into any issues there, just because it all connects. I know some individuals have reported issues where they have to, or have had to print out inserts to put in their filament. I haven't run into that. I've used many different brands. It's pretty good. So I put on my cardboard spools here. Other pros for it is it's pretty straightforward to just put it in. If there is an issue with a clog in the PTFE tube, I can just remove it here, follow it down, remove it here, and normally just pull it out without having to go through the effort of disassembling the entire AMS system. Issues that I've had with it. I had issues with the tool head. I know it's not quite related to the AMS Lite. However, for some reason, the previous tool head that I had was causing, anytime I used the third slot of the AMS, it was causing it to fail. And in fact, I actually lost use of that third slot for a couple weeks, even after I'd replaced that, because I just felt that it was going to be a problem still, until I absolutely needed to get 4 colors. And since then, it's been working fine. Having to make sure that these PTFE tubes are the right size and shape and not in everyone's way is definitely a little bit of an annoyance. It's not unbearable, but this is all self-managed. The pros is it's you know, it works, it's great, it's I'm able to just feed it right there and it's able to be troubleshot directly. The cons is just I'm just having some more issues with it and the placement for it. Yeah. Oh, and I guess I will say, just I did touch base on it earlier, but as far as the build plate, I did upgrade to the Super Track from Bambu Lab, and ever since then I've had no adhesion issues, don't have to use any adhesive or anything of that nature. Wasn't planning to do a review for it, but this right here has been a lifesaver. It's a little bit pricier because you got to order it directly from Bambu compared to some of the other ones you can get on Amazon, but it is overall great when it comes to the adhesion. Everything just works. The one qualm is you're not supposed to use silk filament on it. In fact, Bambu Studio will actually yell at you if you try to use the silk filament, and my understanding is that's because it will tear off, it will rip off and damage this. So I do have to swap between the textured plate here and there whenever I'm printing a base layer with the silk filament, but it's a worthwhile trade-off. Well, I think that's about everything for this video. I know it's been a little bit of a longer one. I just wanted to give all the thoughts, all the opinions of the 3 printers. So I put over 5,000 hours into them, and I'm hoping to put at least another 5,000 hours in. I mean, I'm not sure what the expectations are for the P1S as far as print hours is concerned, but I'm at 3,000 hours, and I'm going to run this thing until the ground. And yeah, I mean, overall, like I said, this one's my favorite. It's definitely the original Bambu that I got. It's my favorite. I think if I probably would have gotten this Bambu and dealt with the issues that I had in the beginning, I probably would have been a little bit more wary. But the fact that I got this one and this one both working really good before I ran into the problem child makes me, want to stick with the brand. And yeah, we'll see. My plan is after the summer, once I start doing some more festivals, I'm actually going to expand. The next goal is going to be to expand from 3 printers to 5. I'm expanding slow, just making sure that I don't overexpand and, financially makes the most sense. So yeah, I know this was a long one. If you guys liked this video, I appreciate a like and a subscribe for this. I don't normally do reviews. I might start doing a few here and there, whether that is filament brands that I've run into, or material that I preferred, whether that's the wood or the silk or matte or whatever. I might look at starting to do some of those. But if you guys really enjoyed this video, please let me know in the comments any thoughts you have. What's your thoughts on the Bambu printers? Which one is your favorite? And is my issues with the A1 just a me issue? I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you.